Hey Q-Peeps, this is Chris Joyner with CJBBQ MORE. I'm actually here in the chef's store here in Charlotte, pricing some items for a cook that I have two cooks next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and I'm trying to do some pricing on a few things so that I can give the final price to the customers. So I'm just walking around trying to get some prices. So I'll keep you posted. Good morning, Q-Peeps. This is Chris Joyner with CJBBQMORE. I'm coming today just to do a quick video. I have an order to cook a brisket for about 12 people, so I decided to purchase a brisket. I was looking for a brisket that wasn't too heavy, maybe around 12 to 15 pounds, that didn't already have a lot of fat on it, because when you get it, you have to trim a lot off, so I didn't want to lose too much. So I was able to go to the chef store and I found this 12-pound brisket. It actually does not have as much fat on it as the larger briskets, which is what I was looking for, so I don't have to trim a whole lot of it all. And then actually this one is pretty, I don't have to do a whole lot of trimming on it, which I like. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. And this is just for about 12 to 15 people. So I want to make sure I got a brisket that was not too big, not too small, and that I can work with. What I'm going to do today is basically trim the fat, just kind of clean it up a little bit. Then I'm going to use a special tool that I purchased off of Amazon. I'm going to give it a go today, so this is going to be the first time that you guys have seen it and the first time I've actually used it, and so I'll tell you what I think about it, but I thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of use it today. It's called a quick trim. It's a brisket, meat, and silver skin trimmer, and it's a quick trim brand. Never used it, saw it before, saw a couple people use it. I said, well, I'm gonna give it a try. Just to see if it's something that I want to buy more of and promote. So we're going to be using this to trim the brisket today. Once it's trimmed, I'm going to season it, and I know a lot of people, sometimes they put mustard on it, sometimes they put oil on it, but today what I'm just going to be using simply just as an adhesive for the seasoning, I'm going to spray a little cooking spray on it. I just need something to coat the brisket so that the seasoning will stick. And I'm going to do two things, and I'm going to share with you one of my tricks that I just recently discovered. I mixed up my seasoning blend for my brisket, my special seasoning blend for my briskets, and this will be ready for availability to sell to customers very soon, so just stay tuned. But prior to me putting my seasoning on it, I'm going to show you a trick. I use what they call pink curing salt. And you know, when you cook that brisket, when it gets real tender and you see that smoke ring around it, you can get it. There's several ways you can get that smoke ring. But this is one of my tricks that gives you that good dark smoke ring, but you have to use it accordingly. I'm only going to use a little bit. I didn't mix it in with my seasoning because I want to put it on separately, because it doesn't take much when you're using it on a brisket. And what I'll probably do once I finish trimming it and spraying it with the cooking spray so that it'll stick, I will put the pink curing salt on, and then I'll add my seasoning. Just a little bit about pink curing salt. This actually is used for meat preservation, and if you're doing different things like sausage and stuff like that. But I found it's a good seasoning to use on your brisket if you want to get that deep smoke ring. So basically, it's a combination of sodium chloride and I believe sodium nitrate. And those two agents combined, when you add it with the meat, it's important for your brisket to be chilled or cold, basically, before you put it on the smoker. So if your brisket, I found that if your brisket is cold, I pre-season, and you make sure you put it in the refrigerator for several hours, and then it's cold, and you go directly to your pit, it will absorb that smoke a lot better, so it'll give you that good smoke ring from a presentation standpoint. Just wanted to share that little tip with you. I'll be doing that. So just let me wash my hands and unpack the quick trim brisket trimmer, and we'll get started. All right, I am back. Wash my hands. Let me dry them off here real good, because I'm getting ready to put my gloves on, so I need to dry them off real good so I won't have such a hard time putting on my gloves. Well, first let me unpack this quick trimmer and wash it off. Yes, I do wash everything. So far I like. Wasn't hard to get out of the packaging, so that's a good thing. Excuse me 1 second. Now, dry my hands off again. Now let me get my glove. I'm going to put it on my left hand and leave my right hand free for the seasoning. Well, actually, you know what? Let me just put them on both. And I can just change it later. So what I'm looking to do is really, and as I said before, this one is it's trimmed pretty good. Now I don't have to do a whole lot of trimming. I just want to take a little bit of the fats off the side, the top, and it's pretty squared off like I kind of like it. So I don't have to do much. So let's give this bad boy a try. Let me try this first trim. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. But I like to have my ends pretty even. And one thing I can already tell you with this slicer, it's slicing pretty good, but I think I should have had this when I was trimming it. It might be easier to trim it when it was a little colder, but we'll see. I'm just taking off a little bit at a time because I don't want to take off too much fat. But what I'm finding already is it's not very flexible, and that's not a bad thing. But I know with a fillet knife, you tend to have a little bit more flexibility. So that's the first thing that I'm noticing. But it's okay. And you want to make sure you take off enough of the fat to where the seasoning can penetrate the meat. And I can tell you right now, I'm still gonna have to use my fillet knife, but so far, I'm okay with it. Let's see. I think I'm gonna take off a little bit here, not too much, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my fillet knife. This actually works. It works okay, but is it something that I would probably use a lot? I'd probably say not. But nothing beats the fillet knife. But I'm not disappointed with it. I will be using it. So, and if I don't know if you can see this, it's pretty much trimmed like I like it. And this one came pre-trimmed pretty good. So there's not a whole lot I need to do with it. So what I think I'm gonna do now is go ahead and start preparing to season it. Well, before I do that, let me flip it over, see what we got over here. I forgot, let me use this. Take a little bit off of this. And using this trimmer, y'all can see it's probably just as easy to use a fillet knife to get this bad boy off. But it's okay, it wasn't that much on the bottom either. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and let me take this glove off so I can have one hand free for the seasoning. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this side. A little bit of cooking oil. I've already patted it dry. And I'm just spraying this now, as I said before, so the seasoning will stick on it. Now, as I said, I'm only gonna put a little bit, not too much, a light coat of this pink curing salt on it, because I don't need to do a whole lot. I know some people, they tend to put, a little more than I tend to do, but this is not the only way to get the smoke ring. So I want you to understand that this is one way that I do it. And that's about it on that side. Now, what I'm gonna do is take my homemade beef brisket rub. And I went ahead and just made up a batch so I wouldn't have to shake individual containers on it. And then I put it over pretty liberally. I don't have a lot, I'm not seasoning this with a lot of salt. Because sometimes, but you do need to have a certain amount of salt because this is a thick cut of meat, it's a tough cut of meat, and it's gonna take some time to cook. So I wanna make sure that I do season it well. And I always put my brisket on the grill, fat side down. That's just preference. You can do it either way. So I like the fat side to be, fat side up. So I like my fat side up to be the first way I put it on the grill. Now, what I usually do, I put a little light coat on the bottom of it, but I put a heavier coat on the top. So let's flip her over. Boy, this is a heavy piece of meat. Okay. Now, let's do the same. And this is the fat side. Fat side. So once again, we'll take the pink curing salt. That's just dry shaking. Just a light coating And this is, I'm only putting this on because it assists with bringing a beautiful smoke ring on it. Really doesn't have anything to do with the flavor, to be honest with you. And I'm still gonna put a light coat on this side just so it'll be the first seasoning on the brisket. See, I didn't use much. Now let's go back and put a brisket rub all over it. And as you can tell, I'm adding just a little bit more on it. And I like to make my rubs because I can control the salt content. That's the main reason I make my rubs. It's a little more labor intensive. I know some people are quite fine with purchasing certain rubs, and that's cool, but I think I can control my my seasoning and salt content when I make my own rubs. So I don't have a tremendous amount of salt in here, but I have enough to where it blends. I believe in flavor blending because you're going to be using different things to combine to make this one piece of meat taste great. So it's not just about the seasoning, it's also about the wood. And also I'll probably be smoking this over hickory and pecan wood. So what I will do now, basically, I'm just patting it down just to let the seasoning get on it. And like I said, I don't worry. I know some people season the sides and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can. I mean, but this is the way I do mine. So just what I'm gonna do is put it in a little tray and put it back in the refrigerator. I'm not gonna put it on for another 6 hours. So then when I put it on, the grill will be, I'm gonna run it at a temperature about 225, 250 over hickory and pecan. And we're probably gonna smoke this. My goal is to smoke it for about 12 to 14 hours. I'm gonna smoke it for at least 5 to 7 hours and hopefully get an internal temp of 165. Then I'll take it off and I'll wrap it in butcher's paper, pink butcher's paper, put it back on the pit to smoke until, you know, I can't say the hours, maybe another 3 or 4 hours, but until the internal temperature reaches about 200 to 205. Maybe between 198 and 205, somewhere along in there. And then I'll take it off, let it rest in a cooler for about an hour before I slice it. So, and by that time it should be nice and tender, and then we'll come back and check that smoke ring like I told you. So next time you see me, I'll be putting this bad boy on the grill. Thanks. All right, Q-Peeps. It's been about 5 hours since I've trimmed, seasoned, and put the brisket in the refrigerator to chill. Now I'm outside. I'm getting ready to put it on my barrel grill. I'm going to smoke it on my barrel grill because I need to keep things separate just for now. But this is going to be a long cook. I'm putting it on. It's probably around about 6 o'clock. I'm putting it on right now. And I'm going to watch the temperature. As I said, I'm going to get this temperature, let it smoke until it gets up to about 165 degrees internal temp. Then I'll take it off and wrap it in butcher paper, put it back on there until the temperature rises between 198 and 205, somewhere along there. And then I'll take it all, put it in the cooler for the rest, and I'll slice it up. But here we have it right here. It's been sitting in the refrigerator for at least 5 hours. Now it's time to put it on the grill. See what it does. The current tip on the barrel grill, I have it right at about 250. So I want to try to keep it between 225 and 250 if I can, but I want to get it on now while I'm prepping up the other stuff I need to prepare for this weekend. And we're just going to let it ride. So here we go. I got that wood log just sitting on the other side of the grill, so that's gonna be the next log I put on. So I'm smoking it with hickory and pecan, I believe. I'll just keep adding logs on the hot side, and I got the brisket on the cool side, and we're gonna let this bad boy smoke and do what it do. We'll check back periodically. All right, we're about an hour and a half into the cook. Brisket is going well. Temperature is holding steady at around about 250, and we're doing pretty good. Color's starting to set in on it. We got a long way to go, but we're on track. All right, Cupids. It's actually about 11 p.m. and my 12-pound brisket, I put it on around about 6:30. And the internal temp is actually like 167, between 167 and 172. So it's actually cooking fairly quick. The temperature has been holding pretty steady around about 225, 250. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off and wrap it. Oh yeah, I snuck a slab of ribs on there as well. So kind of surprised, but hey, we're gonna wrap it and finish it up. The bark looks good. We're gonna keep it moving. Now I got my brisket wrapped in butcher paper and still got my slab of ribs still smoking here. I have to do about 13 more slabs on Monday, but I got one customer who wants it tomorrow, so knocking that out. But we're gonna go on to phase 2 of this brisket cook, and we'll keep you posted. Well, Q peeps, the brisket is done, it's sliced, and I'm just keeping it warm, getting it ready for delivery. Remember when I told you about my secret that I use to help with the smoke ring? Y'all look at that smoke ring. Unreal. Actually, this was a very small brisket. It was only 12 pounds, so it took me maybe about 12 hours to cook it. I cooked it slow, kept it around 225, 250. But that turned out really well. Hope the customer will be pleased. So I'm just trying to keep it warm. I just sliced it. I let it rest for a while, and then I sliced it. That's the best advice I can give you. When you take it off the smoker, let it rest for at least 30 minutes to an hour, and then slice that bad boy. But either way, I'm very pleased. Turned out well.